Well, welcome to another episode of the Lift Church podcast. It is always a blessing to get to have these conversations and share them with you. And as always, we want to encourage you to follow along, whether that's on Spotify, Apple podcasts, or if you're just watching us on YouTube, that you could subscribe to these things and like them and all the things that are necessary as being a part of this community. We are still in the season of season 3, where we're interviewing and having moments with people that we get to do life with in the community. And today is another one of those amazing moments of having conversations with an amazing organizational leader. I'm excited to even learn more. I'm learning in this conversation some about our guest as well. And so you get to come along that journey. And so today I have the privilege of introducing you to and interviewing, for some of you, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity here in Sarasota County and Southwest Florida. And so Christina McCauley is with us, the CEO. So that's a powerful, you're a boss. I love that.
Yes, I'm a boss, but I'm not really too much of a bossy boss. We work really tightly as a team.
Yeah, I'm sure to be CEO, I'm sure you're a good leader. What I'd love to do for people that don't know you, and we're blessed that our organization here at Lift Church, we partner with you. I know there's many that come to church here that are partnering with you. We were just chatting moments ago with Pastor Benjamin, who sits on the board, works with you guys in amazing ways. But there's some that don't know you yet.
That's right.
And would you take just a few moments, unpack a little bit for us, CEO Christina? And you were telling me before we even start recording, you're at least somewhat local, moving here at a young age. Just, hey, help everybody know your story a little bit and maybe who you are as a leader and what your role is, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
So I moved here when I was 7. From Philadelphia. So it's kind of a happy day for me. Yeah. Birds.
Were you rooting for the Eagles?
Of course I was.
That's amazing. Is your family still up there?
A lot of my family is
still for Philly.
My parents, some core relatives did follow us down here, which is great to have them here. But we have a lot in Philadelphia and New Jersey still.
So what do they say? Fly Eagles? Is that what you say?
I saw a lot of Go Birds.
Go Birds.
But Fly Eagles.
I thought that was the Falcons, but nonetheless, I'll go down a side trail. I'm talking Super Bowl and sports. This episode is being recorded literally the day after the Super Bowl. So that's why we're on that.
We're happy today.
Yes. So, good for you.
Not so many of the people at the party there was a lot of red. But I was one of few really jazzed by the end of the
Do you rub it in?
No. I just stayed quiet.
I would have. I'm very competitive. So, all right, I'm sidetrailed. You're from Philly,
from
7 years old. Yeah.
And I moved here when I was 7, went to Garden Elementary, Venice Middle, Venice High School, met my husband there. And then I went to the University of Tampa. So not too far. Yeah. Driving distance, because I would still come home on the weekends, see my boyfriend, help my mom. She owned a shop on Venice Avenue. Okay. So a lot of people know my mom, Nancy Elwell. Yeah. She has since retired, lucky thing.
What was the shop she owned for those that might not know?
It was called Treasures in Time. Yeah. It was right next to the ice cream shop.
Yes. Okay.
So serious local at that point, because then we were right smack downtown and, everybody knew my mom. And then moved back and was really fortunate to live and work and grow a family here, which is rare. You know, it's kind of the dream. Yeah. So then my husband went to Ringling. We got married. Yeah. We've got 2 kids. My son's turning 17 tomorrow.
Yes, that's your oldest.
And then my daughter is 11, and she's just, they're so different.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How are you navigating? So he's driving of the things.
He's getting ready to drive. He's a little behind.
No, I've got one like that too. Yeah. So that's how around here. Yeah. You got to be careful. It gets pretty busy. And so I understand.
I'm going to be nervous. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, you should be.
Every day driving.
Even if it wasn't as busy as it is.
It's a new surprise.
Yeah. 17-year-old. Good for you.
He's going to Europe this summer with his school.
Okay.
So that'll
Where's
be
he
his
going?
First. Let's see, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, and a pop over to Austria.
Okay, like a learning abroad thing?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Actually, he's going to have a good time.
Yeah. How do we get to go do that kind of stuff? I didn't do that when I was
school again. I don't. And then, my daughter is, she did Barbizon. If anybody remembers what Barbizon is, the modeling and acting training. And so now she's auditioning for shows and movies and things like that.
This is such an interesting family.
Yeah, they are really interesting. And as I told you, my husband runs his own art company. It's just him. And he does anything.
Yeah.
From drawing, painting, graphics online for Habitat. He's building us a virtual walkthrough of a house for our upcoming gala. So people can go in and bid on pieces, and you can even put a VR headset on and walk around the house.
This is amazing. So, what is your husband's name?
Don.
Don
McCauley,
is a local artist that is doing all of these things, trained through Ringling here, even locally. Yep. This is exceptional. Really, like, this is fun. Now, I love art. I was telling you, like, I people in our church that do paintings and stuff, I will like commission them to do paintings and put them in my office just because I love that kind of stuff. So I love getting to, and this area is like famous for artists and stuff like that. So this is very,
and I can't draw a stick figure. So, you know, I appreciate
you're just a boss. That's you've got a different. So, okay. Your family, 2 kids, keep going. Walk us through. How did you get into being boss? Like, what does that journey look like? It's
like I said, not a straight line. When I was talking to you earlier, I went to University of Tampa. I started out in biology.
Okay.
Obviously didn't keep doing that. Found out that I was probably going to be in a lab a big portion of the time. And that just was not what I wanted to do, be stuck inside. You know, there was no people to it.
Yeah.
So I switched to communications and marketing and writing. Did that for the rest of my time there. Loved that school. It was great. It was small, kind of reminded me of Venice. Some of my classes had 7 people in it.
Wow.
So how much more tight knit. And some of them were people that I went to high school with. So that was even better. Yeah. So I didn't go too far. And I came back and started working for the Venice Gondolier as a reporter for about 6 months.
Did you cover anything specific? Is it just random?
They just sent me wherever. I was the new girl. So
give me one of your favorite stories that you had to do.
Oh gosh, it's a favorite, but it's also really sad.
Okay,
so,
but it marked you. So we'll say it that way. Maybe it's not a favorite. It's one that marked you.
It was impactful.
There you go. Okay.
A lady's dog had gotten stuck in a fence, and it was when like we had a killer bee panic going on, and actually had been stung and killed by bees, and she just was crying and wanting to tell her story. We contacted bee experts, and we did this whole like couple piece series on the bee issue around here. Bees. Yeah, and it got picked up by a couple scientific magazines. Yeah. So that was pretty cool for me at 21 to get picked up by other outlets.
So cool.
I didn't stay there long. I loved it. It was really great. But a friend of mine called that was the executive director of Friends of the Venice Library here on the island.
Okay.
She was leaving and thought I would be good. I should come interview. So I did. I got it. And I had that job for 11 years.
This is the Venice Library?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Friends of the Venice Library. We had a little bookshop, small budget, small nonprofit.
Yeah.
But we funded programs for kids and adults and, whatever else they needed. You needed a printer. We'll fundraise for your printer. You
continue to be more intriguing. So I love getting to sit and me. Well, I love books. So I'm a huge reader. Naturally, I have to be in my profession. You read a lot of books and stuff. And then on top of that, my wife and I love kids. So you just kind of mix the two in what you're doing. So this is a great journey.
Fun. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'd get to sit in some of the kids programs we were funding and just watch how excited the kids were. And like, okay, we did that. That's really great. Yeah.
So fulfilling, right?
Yeah, it is. It was really fulfilling. I loved all those people. They're fantastic.
Nonprofit leadership too. So you're probably learning a lot in nonprofit leadership because that's technically what you're into now. And so that's a good transition into.
You're exactly right. And since we were small, I was able to learn and, not have it be high pressure because I had a very supportive board. All the library staff, they were like family. So I was able to learn in a very, harmonious way over there.
Yeah, it's a good environment, right?
It really
was a very supportive environment for someone new. And when you're working in nonprofit world, working with your board, understanding that, a lot of people don't know, especially the people that are new to nonprofits and volunteer-based systems. Volunteer-based systems, totally different way of approaching leadership and running organizations than a hire and fire system, for instance. So.
Right, because you have all of these folks working for you for free, and you have to recognize and acknowledge all they're doing for you. You just have to, because they can volunteer anywhere, and they're choosing you to spend their time with. So that's my favorite part about nonprofit. I mean, I love the families we help, but just watching the volunteers so selflessly give them of themselves to your organization, but they're asking nothing in return is just, helps your faith in humanity.
I love that you as a leader, like the people hearing you is like, that gets a heart behind why I think you've progressed and been moved into the spaces you find yourself, because you see people. Like you appreciate. There's a lot of people that I don't think slow down, especially in a volunteer-based nonprofit kind of system where you don't slow down and see them and appreciate the sacrifice, have a thankfulness for you chose me. You could have chose, I say it even at our church. So we're a religious nonprofit technically as a local church. And I will look at people that come on a Sunday and I go, I will never take for granted that you choose to be here. Like you don't have to be. What a gift it is. I think God honors that. I think it's a reflection of your leadership. So that's great stuff. And it makes sense to me now, getting to meet you, why you've been promoted into the position you are. So walk me through that, because you moved from the library. Did you go into Habitat, or is there another thing there?
I went straight to Habitat. I didn't even take a day off. I went from Friday to Monday.
Okay.
The library, as most people know in Venice, did shut down for a few years. They were willing to keep me on, and that seemed not fair. They didn't really have a whole lot for me to do for a while, except for to keep me there running some books and paying me. And at the same exact time, Habitat called. And I'm like, okay, this was meant to be. So I scooted over to Habitat, not too far, just right down the road, and worked with primarily events and PR, marketing, a little bit of admin. And then I just started to kind of pick more things up along the years, did a little bit of volunteer work, just learned along the way, which was really beneficial then to eventually step into my position, because I kind of had an idea of how almost every single department ran. And how to relate to the people running it.
Yeah, because you had been in all of those areas.
Yeah, almost. Not construction. Don't give me a hammer. But
but inside of like at least the business side and the marketing side of things, you had served in most of those areas. I do think that equips you.
It does.
My wife and I's journey, when we started serving a local church, we started cleaning the bathrooms. Just volunteered. Like we're just people that come to church. We're like, let me help. And it was a small rural church. We come from a small rural community, and just eventually you start. We help with this. We help with that, and you learn all of it. Then I think it made me better, because I have been in those spaces to serve as a volunteer. I'm like I have a different appreciation as the boss now, right? It's like, okay,
and I love that for our board too. Like you said, like Ben, we have them serve on committees as well.
That's so good.
Not just sit on a board, because we want them to understand the inner workings of, especially the people that we're helping.
Good.
So like Ben and a bunch of other people are on our homeowner services committee. And I would say that is the deepest committee to get on. You really learn who you're helping. They do site visits. They get to know the families.
Yeah, walk me through that a little bit. So I think maybe it might be a good segue into talking about Habitat. So just pretend, if you would, with me as we're kind of chatting today, pretend I don't know anything. Like what do you guys even do? And then maybe some of those inner workings. So you got some of these committees, you got... So I am working even now with some different foreign missions work. And realizing that like one of the guys that's serving at one of the programs I'm with is actually a guy who works with Habitat for Humanity as well. So I'm sitting here, I'm just starting to learn all about what you guys do. Would you like unpack that for me for a moment?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot to unpack, but I will do my best.
Well, don't feel pressure, but everybody doesn't understand. Show us.
It's very complicated, but also it's kind of simple at the same time. So there's a common misconception that we just pick up somebody on the side of the road and pop them in a house. And there you go. There's your house. Could not be less true.
Good. Okay.
So we have the Homeowner Services Committee that vets the families. They have to follow HUD income guidelines set forth by International. So they have to be able to live and work and afford. They have to have a need. I mean, they're vetted very heavily to make sure that they are going to thrive in the program and not get into the program and then lose their house, because that would be devastating for everybody involved. Okay. So they have to check all the boxes.
I think that's great. You're setting them up for success.
That's exactly what we try to do.
Yeah.
But then, even if they don't qualify the first time around, Mary, our homeowner service director, is fantastic about redirecting people on how they can qualify. So you're missing this one piece. go do this, come back to me next time, and we'll see if we can get you in. So we don't like just turning people away. If there's potential, we want them to come back.
But you are also putting some responsibility on them, right? That so you give them steps, but now responsibility. I love that approach.
We call it a hand up and not a hand out.
Well said.
So that's kind of the international motto.
Yeah.
So once they're in the program, they have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
They're still going to have a mortgage. It's 0% through us. And a lot of the times we take out a very large silent second, which is forgiven. So it's an affordable mortgage that's within their means of paying it, and there's no interest. But they still have a mortgage they have to pay. And they have to do sweat equity, what we call sweat equity. So it's helping build houses. They could volunteer in our restore, at our events, but they have to build houses for their own house and then other partner families. So it's super community minded. They're all working together. Yeah, exactly. To build for each other. And then on top of that, they have to take classes from anything from maintaining your home, your financials, insurance. We want them filled with knowledge when they move in.
So good.
So the program takes about a year and a half if they just go straight, and check all their boxes, all their markers.
So a year and a half being from applying for the home to moving into it, or a year and a half from applying for the home and going through all these extra, how long do they serve after they move into their home and stuff? Through the year and a half? Is that part of it?
No, the finale is moving into their home.
Okay.
So they get all of this done ahead of time.
I see.
So when they walk through the door, they get their keys, they are prepared.
That's so
And they know what to do moving forward.
Perfect.
A lot of them do come back and help us though. They just don't have to. They're choosing to at that point. So
well, you've changed their life.
Yeah.
Literally you're changing people's lives. Living in America, still there is a need there for homes. And I think that's something maybe even I want to hear from you. What are those needs out there? Because a lot of people maybe don't see some of that, especially like you do. So
aside from the need of the family themselves, they want to live here just like me. If they grew up here, they can afford a conventional mortgage. They deserve to live and work and raise their family where they love. So that's what we're looking to accomplish specifically for the families, but also look around you. There's lots of service positions. A lot of our folks are nurses, restaurant workers. We got a lot of people from Publix. So what if they can't stay here? Then what happens to our businesses? We don't have anybody to work there. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of restaurants and other places be short-staffed. And I think that's a huge symptom of not having enough affordable housing here.
There you go. Yeah. I think I have my boy, my oldest son is 21. Yeah. He's a nurse, by the way, which is cool. You even mentioned that. And affordable housing. We're watching a lot of young people having to move and things like that. And affordable housing to maintain a better infrastructure for a community, right? So for the society at large, I think is important. Some people are going to have different and varying opinions on how that would be approached. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
We do.
Being a father that I'd love to see my grandkids, stay near me. Affordable housing would help to solidify that, as well as allow my son, who's in nursing and stuff, to be able to participate and serve the community at large, and as technically like a first responder, right? So
we get a lot of those as well. So a few police officers.
Exactly. And I've got a lot of friends in those spaces. So I love, figuring out ways that affordable housing helps to keep that kind of infrastructure there. So
yeah, we need them.
Yeah. Beautiful. So walk me through once, so the need is there. What other, you mentioned these committees, like even Pastor Benjamin is on. So you've given us the basics. I think someone can understand.
Yes.
Here's what's happening. Give me some of that surrounding elements of what it looks like, because this is much bigger than that.
There's a lot.
I know you're dealing with so much more.
So we're many things. Okay. So we're housing. We're a construction company. Yeah. So we build the houses alongside our volunteers. Okay. Some of them have been doing it for 30 years. So there's that volunteer piece again. Yeah.
That's cool.
We don't know what we're going to do when they retire.
No.
Well, they're trying to teach new folks is what we're doing right now.
That's
we
a good problem that I don't think about.
Oh, we need them. They're vital. I mean, we're primarily volunteer based. So our construction
But I don't think about the construction people who are aging out potentially and not having some of that replaced. So we hear a lot in the marketplace right now, like you're losing plumbers, electricians, framers, etc., welders, and you're not having that replacement. I never even put two and two together how that would actually impact your organization.
We're constantly worried and working on ways to get new volunteers engaged, that next generation. And a stumbling block there too is that people are working a little longer. So where our guys now maybe retired at 50, 60. Probably the 50, 60-year-olds around here are not retiring yet.
Yeah.
So maybe they have a day a week to give us where our guys now, we call them weekday warriors. They Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Wow. They're out there every day.
Yeah.
So they're, invaluable. We rely on them very heavily.
Well, yeah, because I don't know how many volunteers does it take to do, let's say, a unit or a home from beginning to end. What is the amount of volunteer hours? I mean, just even a spitball on
thousands.
That. Thousands. Yeah.
It's tons of paid staff, all just taken care of by volunteer hours.
Wow. And so I pray, so part of the conversations we have is people gaining awareness to this. Mm-hmm. I know you're out there working and pounding the pavement and getting people to hear it.
We are.
I pray maybe just 5 people hear a conversation and go, well, I'd be more than happy to do some contracting work with them. I did that my whole life. I know people here, even in our house, that, retired from factory work or construction work, whatever, that might not even be aware of the opportunity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's pushing them to you to recognize we need you, whoever's listening.
And the beauty of it is you do not need to have any experience. Yep. Our guys will teach you.
That's so good.
And it's great because what if you want to rehab your own house?
Yeah.
You get that skill.
It is a lost skill set, by the way. You know what I mean? One day, I got a daughter who is 8 years old. I need a guy that can help fix the house for her, and she doesn't call her daddy every time. So, anyways.
Yeah. I would like to know. We're going to probably remodel our house a little bit soon. We're going to take it on ourselves. We'll see how that goes. So I don't know. I'll be calling my guys. I screwed up.
Yeah, listen, I need your help. Dawn and I did this.
We tried our best.
Yeah. I love that. So, okay, you need so what does it look like for funding and things like that? You're talking volunteer, but walk me through what is
another big piece.
Yeah, that's huge, I'm sure.
So from the time I started at Habitat, which was approximately 9.5 years ago, our homes were $160,000 to build. Add $100,000 of that there 9 years later, just because of pricing going up. And COVID, multiple hurricanes, none of these things helped us with that price point. Plus, we're booming here right now, and we're competing for resources. Thankfully, we have a really phenomenal major gift officer right now, the best we've ever had. Okay. She's doubled our fundraising income since she started.
Whoever you are, you're amazing.
Colleen. She'll watch this and be like, oh gosh. But yeah,
doesn't like
wonderful.
That's usually the people
they don't
like
that. The credit.
Well, good job, Colleen.
She's
That's
wonderful. I'm so lucky to have her. And she came in right about when I took the promotion. So phew, lucky. Yeah. But yeah, we have events. We do all the things that nonprofits do. We send out mailers. We have a gala. We have a golf tournament. We do a women build. We're constantly looking for new donors.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah. I'm sure, some people, and again, towards the end of our time together today, want to give them very clear directions on how they participate with you directly.
Great.
How do they volunteer? How do they give? How do we do reoccurring giving? All that stuff is always important. So talk to me about you being a CEO. You're managing all of these things, a day in the life of a CEO, Christina. Sure. What does that feel and look like for you? What do you do day to day besides come and get on podcasts and probably a bunch of TV interviews?
Every day is different.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a lot of meetings, obviously, with different departments. I'm just keeping track of what each individual department is doing and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
It's easy to get disjointed when we're construction and fundraising and homeowners. So we're constantly getting together to make sure we're working as a unit, because when one piece doesn't work, another piece doesn't work. So it's checking in and making sure we know what's going on. Sometimes I do things like this. We get out in the community a lot. So you'll see me just about everywhere. People tell me I make them tired, but we're involved with every local chamber. So Venice, Northport, Inglewood, Osprey, and we're going to all the things. I try to help other nonprofits as well. So does Habitat. I'm helping with the YMCA Black Tie Gala right now as much as I can. I wish I could do more.
That's amazing. We love the YMCA too.
I know. Yeah, they meet over here a lot. We've met over here with them a lot.
It's such a great organization.
And then I was just coming off of being president of Northport Young Professionals. Now somehow I'm vice president. I don't know how that worked, but I said yes. That's how that worked.
Yeah. Sounds like you say yes a lot.
I did. Sounds like yes a lot. Yes. This is a work in progress on how to say no. but yeah, and it's we're always really busy and, meeting with people and getting out into the community. If they don't know you're here, forget it. Everything else is not going to work.
You're doing this. You've worked up through the ranks. You've got busy days, pounding pavement and stuff. As a leader, what's like the biggest thing you've learned? Because how long have you been CEO now?
Coming up on 4 years.
Okay, across 4 years now.
Yeah.
All right. What's the biggest thing you're learning as a CEO of a pretty large nonprofit?
Yeah.
What have you learned across 4 years now as a leader?
Primarily, your staff, your team has got to be a main focus. That team has got to work together and be happy, because then they're going to do amazing things for you. So just checking in, making sure everybody has what they need, having a great board that is supportive. The rest kind of takes care of itself because they want to do the work. They're passionate about the work. And having staff members that are passionate and there for the right reason.
That's good.
Similar to a church. They have to buy into your mission. They have to believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And right now we have a phenomenal team. So it's been a great year.
Yeah.
We just won Best of Venice for the second year in a row. So it's like, all right, this just happens because synergy. We're all working together really well and everybody just masters their craft, and then I don't have to boss too much. It's great.
Yeah, but you say that like it's so common. I think I think you're a better leader than you give yourself credit for.
Thank you.
2 years in a row, that's a large portion of your leadership and your kind of CEOing of the organization. How do you help your staff to feel seen? Like, when you're like, I want to bring them together, I want them to feel seen, I want them to buy in the mission. What's your best practices for this? What do you do?
So I have one-on-ones with each of them.
Okay.
I mean, I talk to them all day, every day.
Yeah.
We have a very open door policy. So if somebody needs to come in, come in. So that's a big one. We have had people, other CEOs, executive directors, were not that way. And I think it created just a very standoffish atmosphere where people didn't feel like they could come to their boss. Not that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that I can't kick them out of the office. Like they like it there too much now. And just simple things like we took time to let everybody redo their offices this year. They spend so much time there.
Yeah.
I want them to feel comfortable. So just it's the little things. And then we have a weekly staff meeting where we go just around the table and everybody checks in with each other.
Yeah.
And then I make them do silly things like retreats where we get, people to do warm fuzzy things with us. Like
how often do you do retreats?
Oh, well, right now we're doing them once a year without the board. We do one with the board as well. But just the staff, we do one around the holidays where it's very, we did a thing where we blindfolded one person and then had them stand on a blanket and then had the rest of them, without speaking, flip it over and direct the person gently, to show, the blindness of everybody entering our program and it was Lisa Rowe, who's wonderful, led us through that.
That's cool.
So, and then, we just inspire people to come to everything. Yeah. We want the staff to come to our events free. Don't charge them, get them out there, include everybody.
It's so good. How many staff do you have?
It's small. We have about 10 people at our office, but then we have a restore.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of staff.
We're a relatively small nonprofit, but, and then we have a restore. Our manager, Tracy, over there is fantastic.
Yeah.
So we get together with them as well.
Yeah, I think that's something, and like hearing you as a leader, and that's what I love to, and I said this to you before, like putting a face to an organization. People connect with that. They're connect with your team. They're going to connect with you. And we love the organization. We love what it's doing, but we really do connect with the people. Yeah. And so hearing your heart for your staff, honestly, that's a huge deal. One, it shows because the people nearest you are going to reveal who you really are, right? And so if you make them feel safe, they feel safe with you when you say something, and you might not even pick up that you say, like, sometimes it's hard to get them out of my office.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a huge win. And it speaks volumes, I think, for you as a leader and the way that you're kind of conducting that. I pray that people are listening as they're kind of leaning in and going, okay, could I volunteer there? Could I give there?
Yeah.
Maybe even they're already giving, right? And they're needing to understand even a little bit more. The heart that you have, I think, helps them to participate at that.
I've said it a lot of times because, again, we've been through some leadership while I've been there. If it doesn't matter who else works there, they could be amazing. If the person at the top is not likable, approachable, and out there in the community, forget it. It doesn't matter who else, because they want to see that top person is the right person for the position, or they're going to be weary.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're living that. Like you can go out, like we've seen enough celebrities go out and we can do a good interview.
Yeah.
But a staff that stays in an office proves that interview. And so that's what I think I want people to hear from me, even just getting to spend time with you, because I'm learning you too. We've not really got to sit and chat. I'm getting to hear about your leadership, and I love meeting other area leaders, seeing what you're doing, championing the impact you're having. And so listening to you is really good, helping me to understand your organization. A question I have as I was listening to you, hearing about your staff, hearing about your leadership, we've learned about the mission and what you guys are accomplishing. I'm sure there's a lot of stories and testimonies across the last 4 years, maybe even prior to that, when you're just serving in different levels in your organization. Maybe give a few that have stood out to you. If someone's going, what was success? What does success look like in Habitat? And not just give me a number, a statistic, but genuinely go, hey, there was this family, this happened, this moment. And you'd say who they were before, what you all did, and who they were after. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of moments. It's like this marked you, right? So would you have one of those?
I have a lot.
I bet. Well, give me 2 of those that might stand out to you.
One is a few years back, and it's a rare case for us to have a single dad. We have a lot of single moms. And he was determined to get into this home because he came back 3 separate times. His income was just not quite there. So he actually started his own window washing company on top of working at Publix so that he could have enough money to qualify, because he wanted it bad. It was just him and his 2 little girls. So just a dad raising his 2 girls, which is
You're trying to make me cry,
I know.
This is so good though. I love kids.
It's very sweet. He brought them to our gala that year because he was our speaker, and they sang You Are My Sunshine. Like,
the girls did?
Yeah, we didn't know that they were going to do it. We handed them the mic, like, do you want to say anything? And she just started singing. It's like the whole crowd is crying.
Absolutely.
The staff is crying. And so that can't not stand out. So
that's such a huge win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife and I, big in foster adoptive care.
Oh.
Okay. So big that my wife and I had the privilege, we've adopted our 3 youngest kids. Oh. And so my daughter.
I'm adopted.
Yeah. Okay.
Not out of foster care, but I'm adopted. Yeah.
That's so, that's why we probably connect even more. So we love that. And as a biological father, as a foster adoptive father, dad's winning, and we don't have enough dads and fathers, 1, getting the credit they deserve, and 2, being championed to step into their potential. And so for me to hear, and again, I won't try not to cry, but it's like to hear a dad getting championed, right? And getting opportunities. And like you said, it's a hand up, not a hand out. Man, that blesses my heart. So good.
Yeah, they were wonderful through the whole program, and his girls are so cute. You just couldn't help but fall in love with him.
Sounds like a Hallmark movie.
It really was. Like
so perfect.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of our families kind of are.
Yeah,
I mean, this is our happy ending for them.
So good. Give me one more.
Sure. We have a lady that's about to, we just had the groundbreaking.
Okay.
Her mom has been a Habitat homer for a little while. And she has been struggling through the program because she's actually had cancer a few times through. She's a single mom and has 2 teenage kids.
Wow.
So
single mom.
Yeah.
Battling cancer.
Yep.
Through the program to get a Habitat home, and you are coming alongside her to move her forward in her journey,
and constantly wondering how she's doing, and worrying about her. But when she has that house, she can worry about all the other stuff and not where she has to live.
Yeah,
so that's the goal.
That's a good point. Yeah. I pray people hear that. That's so good. So just these final kind of moments together, let's talk about getting involved. Let's talk about like websites, social medias, how they come and knock on your door at your house and go, how do I serve at Habitat? But I know there's usually like funnels and ways. If you can help make it as clear as possible for our listeners today. And then I've got a few things that I want them to hear too. Just from me talking to you, I try to leave with like, don't miss this that was just said. That. So will you guide us? How do we participate with you? How do we join?
Definitely go to our website, which is habitatsouthsarasota.org. You're going to find everything on there you can take a look at our houses. You can sign up to volunteer. You're going to see our events on there. Everything. We really try to keep that updated.
Say the website again.
www.habitatsouthsarasota.org.
Okay. habitatsouthsarasota.org.
Yes. You can find us on Facebook as well if you're a Facebooker.
Yeah.
We do really keep that updated as well as our Instagram. We got a lot of people that follow us. We want to keep them in the loop.
Yeah.
If you want to donate, you can always call our office and push the button for Colleen. We have our first names on there so that you can figure out who you're getting and not just a department. So we're 941-493-6606.
Wonderful.
And you'll get straight to, we're one person department. So you'll get straight to Colleen if you call Colleen.
Yeah. And Colleen seems like a miracle worker. So I'm excited for that.
She would love to help you donate.
When it comes to your social media handles, what are they looking for? Is it just Habitat for Humanity South?
Yeah, it's going to be Habitat South Sarasota.
South Sarasota. Okay. Habitat South Sarasota.
There actually is a North Sarasota. So it's easy to
okay. See, I thought it was all Sarasota. Man, you guys are huge.
We're everywhere.
Yes.
For bumper to bumper in Florida, there's no territory that's not covered by a habitat.
That's amazing too. So in South Sarasota alone, what do you try to do housing wise annually? What does that kind of look like for you?
We shoot for 8. 8. And that's reasonable for our size of staff.
Yeah. The staff and volunteer base and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So about 8. So you are providing housing for 8 families every single year.
We try,
That's so good.
Some years like COVID again, or no fun.
Yeah. Well, anomalies like that, once in a lifetime moment.
Yeah.
So my heart, and just so you can hear from me. One, I think you're an exceptional leader.
Thank you.
Proof's in the pudding. I'm a country boy. That's what they say where I come from. And so it's hard not to look at what's happened through your organization, winning the awards that you win, moving through the ranks like you've moved. And I think it's because you're genuine. Like I've had the privilege of sitting with some amazing executive directors and leaders, and in the conversation you start to just learn people and different leadership styles. You are very empathetic. I can see you having,
you're right.
You have an empathy that I think resonates not only with, and here's what I tell our people here at our church. You don't raise what you do or multiply or reproduce what you do. You reproduce who you are. And I see that in the organization that you're leading. It's like who you are as an empathetic, caring person is what Habitat is and stands for. Now, I also have the privilege of, I work with Pastor Benjamin, who works with you all. So I see these things from a different perspective, and I'm watching him care, and there's just this different atmosphere that your organization does, and I pray that people today get at least a glimpse of it. We're talking for 30 minutes, and people can see the heart of this organization. What happens is it's not just a house.
Right.
It's your leadership now is moving into, you're moving people forward and the things that they're dealing with, and that life change. What I know about like where we live. Okay. Now you were raised here much more than me. I've only been here for about a decade now, but I love seeing the area impacted for the good.
Oh yeah.
These organizations that I'm sitting with, you being one of those, it is so special to watch. Now I'm a man of faith, so I love watching God do things in our community like this, where people's lives are changed because people like you are stepping into their purpose. And so, in these moments, hearing from you only stirs me and gets me excited about what's happening for Habitat. But also I pray that others are going, okay, I'm going to be a part of that. I'm going to sign up. If you get,
that'd be wonderful.
Like if you got one person to donate, one person to volunteer, people don't realize how much that matters. And
it's worth it just for one.
So good. And so these conversations are geared towards that.
That's right.
And so now, again, I am a guy of faith. And so this interview is going to be kind of that way. What I want to end with, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
How do I pray for you? This is what we do where I'm at. I'm a leader in a church. I love Jesus more than anything. So I'm going, I want to pray for Christina.
We're a Christian-based organization as well. non-denominational. We take everybody. And when we pray, which we do at board meetings, we often rope Ben into that because he's good at it.
Yes, I love that.
I do too. Like, Ben, we need a volunteer. We focus on our homeowners more so than ourselves.
Yes.
I mean, pray for our homeowners, get them through the program.
Yeah.
Let them thrive once they're in their home. That's the whole point. We want to break that generational poverty. We want the kids to then thrive. And then we want them to come back and tell us how amazing their lives are after a little while.
Yeah.
So really that.
A lot of people don't know you're faith-based.
I know.
And so I love that. So, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Is this?
No, go.
Too bad. The cameras are rolling. So what I love is, would you pray to close us?
Sure.
You just had, like you were talking to God, just pray over the conversation. We're going to pray for maybe somebody listening that is thinking about joining this ministry and the things that you guys are doing. But it would be such a blessing for me, Christina.
I'll do my best. I usually write it, but
you can't mess it up. Just talk to God for us for a minute, if you don't mind. So,
absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay. Dear God, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to Lift Church and everyone involved today. This has been a really beautiful experience that I'm going to take with me. It has lifted my heart and made me feel really wonderful about myself and the organization today. I pray that we have touched at least a few hearts that might come out and join us in our mission. And again, I pray for our homeowners in their homes, about to be in their homes, and that haven't joined the program yet. We just want to keep lifting up folks, lifting their hearts and making their lives better. And also a little prayer for all the other nonprofits in the area. We're exceptionally lucky to have such a giving area that can sustain so many nonprofits. And I thank you for all of the volunteers and donors that keep us moving.
Amen. Thank you, Christina. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a great conversation. This is easy. You are good at what you do.
This is fun.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.